Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're diving into a company that's been making some serious waves in the market. Redwire, ticker symbol, RDW.
Yeah, they've been on an absolute tear, haven't they? Over 400% growth in the past year. That's incredible.
It really is. And they even hit an all-time high recently, right?
Yep, $18.29.
Just
Yeah.
goes to show the kind of momentum they've got right now.
Well, it's not just hype either, right? I mean, their Q3 report for 2024 showed some pretty solid numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Their revenue jumped up almost 10%, landed at $68.6 million.
And the projections for the full year are even more impressive.
Yeah, we're talking a projected $310 million. That's a 27% increase, way ahead of the curve compared to the rest of the aerospace and defense sector.
Okay, so what's driving this growth? What's the secret sauce over at Redwire?
Well, for one thing, they've been making some smart acquisitions. Like when they picked up Harith Systems, that move really boosted their presence in the national security market. Yeah, that makes sense, especially with everything going on in the world right now.
And speaking of smart moves, didn't they just land a huge contract with the Air Force?
Oh, yeah. $45.5 million from the Air Force Research Laboratory. That's a big vote of confidence.
So big contract wins, smart acquisitions, solid growth. It all sounds pretty good. But what about the nitty-gritty? What do the actual numbers tell us?
So let's take a look. As of today, January 3rd, 2025, Redwire is trading at $17.48. We saw it peak at $18.49 recently, so there's been a little dip.
A little breather before the next push higher, maybe?
Possibly. But we always have to consider other possibilities too, right? Trading volume has been pretty high lately, hovering around 773,586 shares. That's a good sign in terms of investor interest.
But it could also be a sign that things are getting a little overheated.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Weighing the enthusiasm against a healthy dose of caution. Okay, so how do we gauge that? What kind of warning signs should investors be looking for?
Well, one key indicator is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Right now, Redwire is sitting at 73.86.
And that's significant because
anything above 70 is generally considered overbought territory. It suggests that the stock price might be due for a correction.
So not necessarily a reason to panic and sell, but maybe a signal to proceed with a bit more caution.
Exactly. It's all about managing expectations and understanding that no stock goes straight up forever.
Right, a little market wisdom to keep in mind. So we've got this potential warning sign with a high RSI. But what about other indicators? Are there any that paint a more positive picture?
Well, the moving averages are all looking pretty good. The 10-day EMA, the 20-day SMA, the 50-day, and the 200-day, they're all trending upwards, which is a bullish signal.
So that's encouraging. But I'm still a little hung up on that RSI. Anything else we can look at?
Sure. The MACD is showing positive momentum, backing up what we're seeing with the moving averages. The stochastic oscillator is in a neutral position, might be consolidating before making its next move. And the ADX is showing strong trend strength, which also points towards continued upward movement.
So, bit of a mixed bag then. Some positive signs, but that high RSI is still a bit of a yellow flag.
Exactly. It's a bit of a puzzle right now. A company with a lot of potential, but also some risks to consider. The real analysis comes in when you're trying to put all those pieces together. What story are the numbers telling us about Redwire's future?
That's a great point. And speaking of stories, there's been a lot of talk about AI lately. Where does Redwire fit into that whole narrative? Are they directly involved in AI development?
That's an interesting question. Redwire isn't solely focused on AI, but think about the sectors they operate in. Space exploration, defense technology, advanced manufacturing. AI is becoming increasingly influential in all of those areas.
So they're not a pure AI play, but they're strategically positioned to benefit from the AI boom.
Absolutely. And that's not the only market trend that seems to be working in their favor. We've also seen this rise of small to mid-cap stocks.
Right. The idea that smaller companies might be more nimble, more adaptable, better equipped to outperform the big players in the coming years.
Exactly. And Redwire fits that profile perfectly.
So we've got a company with solid financials operating in sectors that are primed for growth, riding the wave of two major market trends. It's no wonder analysts are excited about Redwire.
It's hard not to be. Their recent contract wins and their strong revenue growth show that they're executing their strategy effectively.
But as we touched on earlier, it's important to balance that enthusiasm with a realistic assessment of the risks. That high RSI is still something to keep in mind.
You're absolutely right. Investing always involves some level of risk. And no stock, I repeat, no stock, goes up in a straight line forever. It's a lot like what happened with that tech company a few years back.
Yeah.
Remember, fantastic product, big acquisitions, stock was through the roof.
Yeah,
But then
been there.
they tripped up on integrating those acquisitions, got too big too fast, couldn't keep up. It's a cautionary tale. Growth is great, but it has to be smart, sustainable growth.
Right. So how can investors tell if Redwire is managing their growth the right way? What are the red flags?
Debt levels are always a good place to start. Acquisitions can get pricey. If a company takes on too much debt, it can really weigh them down. You want to see that they're handling it responsibly, that their revenue growth is outpacing those obligations.
So watch the balance sheet closely. Got
Yeah.
it. But what about the less tangible stuff? Company culture, for example. How can investors get a feel for that?
That's a tricky one. It's not as easy to mutter as numbers, but there are clues. Look at whether they're attracting top talent. Check out employee reviews. Listen to what the leadership says during earnings calls. Do they talk about collaboration, innovation, putting the customer first? Those are good signs.
So it's about reading between the lines a bit, getting a sense of the company's values and priorities.
Exactly. Now, let's swing back to that technical analysis. We talked about that high RSI, 73.86, suggests a correction might be coming. But what does a correction actually look like?
And how should investors approach it? Is it a time to run for the hills, or is it a buying opportunity?
Okay, so a correction is basically a drop of 10% or more. Could be in a specific stock or the whole market. It's normal, part of the cycle. Think of it like a stretched out spring. It's got to snap back eventually.
So not necessarily a sign that the sky is falling.
Right. Corrections can actually be healthy. They bring things back down to earth a bit, make valuations more realistic. Some investors even see them as a chance to buy low.
Interesting. So if we do see a correction with Redwire, what's the play?
Depends on your goals, how much risk you're comfortable with, your time horizon. If you're a long-term investor and you believe in Redwire's fundamentals, a correction could be a chance to grab some more shares at a discount.
Okay, so buy the dip if you're in it for the long haul. But what about investors who are a little more cautious?
Well, in that case, it might be smarter to wait and see how things play out. Set a price target. Or wait for signs that the correction is over and the upward trend is back in motion.
So know yourself and invest accordingly. Don't let fear or FOMO make the decisions for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, remember that price-to-sales ratio we talked about? Redwire's is sitting at 2.6. What do you make of that?
Well, I know it's a way to compare a company's stock price to its revenue, but how do we know if that's a good or bad thing?
Context is key. Always compare it to the industry average. In Redwire's case, they're right in line with their peers. So not overvalued, not undervalued, just one piece of the puzzle.
Right, just one data point among many. Speaking of, ESG investing has been getting a lot of attention. How does that apply to a company like Redwire?
ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. It's about looking beyond just profits, considering a company's impact on the world.
So making money responsibly.
Exactly. ESG investors look for companies that are committed to sustainability, social responsibility, good corporate governance. They believe those things can boost a company's value in the long run and help build a better world.
Okay, so where does Redwire fit in?
It's a bit nuanced. On one hand, they're in industries that could contribute to a more sustainable future. Space exploration can lead to advances in renewable energy, environmental monitoring, resource management.
Yeah, space exploration isn't just about planting flags. It's about pushing the boundaries of knowledge and finding solutions to global challenges.
Right. And in-space manufacturing could reduce the environmental impact of traditional manufacturing here on Earth. So there's a case to be made for Redwire aligning with ESG principles.
But I'm sensing a but coming.
But we have to acknowledge that aerospace and defense can be complex when it comes to ESG. They often involve activities that can have negative environmental impacts, carbon emissions from launches, for example, or the production of military equipment.
So not a simple yes or no answer.
Exactly. Investors interested in ESG need to weigh those factors carefully when evaluating Redwire.
It's about looking at the whole picture, understanding the complexities. So beyond Harith Systems, what other acquisitions has Redwire made?
Oh, they've been busy. Deployable space systems, made in space, Rockcore, just to name a few. They're clearly targeting companies that add to their existing capabilities and open up new markets.
It sounds like they're assembling a pretty impressive portfolio of technology.
They are. That's what makes Redwire so interesting. They're not just a one-trick pony. They have this diverse range of offerings that cater to a lot of different needs in the aerospace and defense world.
So it's not just about space exploration. It's about a broader vision of pushing technology forward.
Precisely. And that diversification helps them manage risk. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. So who are the people calling the shots at Redwire?
Yeah, what can you tell us about the leadership team?
Well, the CEO, Peter Canito, has a great track record. He's led and grown tech companies before, knows what he's doing.
So they've got a seasoned captain steering the ship, someone who knows how to navigate these waters.
And he's built a solid team around him, experts in engineering, operations, finance, business development, the whole package.
So it's not just about one brilliant leader. It's about having the right people in place at all levels.
Exactly. And from what I can tell, they're building a culture of innovation, collaboration, customer focus, pushing the boundaries while staying grounded in delivering real value.
That's a powerful combination. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the positives, but let's get real. What are the risks? What could go wrong for Redwire?
That's the question every investor needs to ask, right? No investment is without risk, and Redwire is no different. There are a few things that could trip them up.
Like what?
Well, the aerospace and defense industries can be pretty unpredictable. Government spending plays a huge role, and that can change depending on politics and the economy.
So a shift in government priorities could really hurt them.
It's a real possibility. And then there's the competition. Redwire is up against some heavy hitters. Big, established companies with deep pockets and lots of experience.
So they're playing in the big leagues. It's got to be tough.
It is. They have to constantly innovate, stay ahead of the game. If they don't, they'll get left behind. And then there's what we call execution risk.
What's that?
It's about whether they can actually deliver on their ambitious plans. They've got a lot going on, lots of acquisitions. Integrating those successfully is crucial. They can't afford to get bogged down or lose focus.
So it's not enough to have a good plan. They have to be able to execute it flawlessly.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done.
Especially in an industry as complex and fast-moving as aerospace and defense.
Right. So there are definitely risks with Redwire, but they're also taking steps to mitigate those risks. They've got strong leadership, a diverse portfolio, and a focus on innovation and customer value.
They do, and that's what makes them so fascinating to watch. They've got a lot going for them, but also some big challenges to overcome. It's that classic high-risk, high-reward scenario.
So ultimately, it's up to each investor to decide if the potential rewards outweigh the risks.
Exactly. Investing is about making choices that are right for you. No one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
What about the long-term future of aerospace and defense? Where does Redwire fit into that picture?
Well, predicting the future is always tricky, but there are some trends that I think will play a big role in shaping Redwire's journey.
Like what?
The commercialization of space is a big one. For a long time, space was mostly a government thing, but private companies are getting more and more involved, and that's only going to continue.
So it's a new space race, but this time it's led by businesses.
Exactly. And Redwire is in a prime position to benefit from that. With their focus on space infrastructure, in-space manufacturing, all that, they're already working with a lot of commercial space companies, and I think that part of their business is going to explode in the coming years.
That's exciting. What other trends are you keeping an eye on?
AI and machine learning are becoming increasingly important across all industries, but especially in aerospace and defense. Redwire is already incorporating those technologies, and I think that's going to be a major driver of their growth going forward.
So they're not just a space company. They're a tech company that's embracing the power of AI.
Absolutely. Which makes them even more intriguing as a long-term investment. They're not standing still. They're looking ahead and adopting cutting-edge tech to stay ahead of the game.
That's a smart approach. Speaking of cutting edge, their commitment to in-space manufacturing and assembly is mind-blowing. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But it's becoming a reality, and it's a huge part of what makes Redwire so compelling. Imagine building things directly in space. No need to launch everything from Earth. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's a whole new way of thinking about space. Not just a destination, but a place where we can build and create.
Exactly. And Redwire is at the forefront of this revolution. They're developing technologies like 3D printing and microgravity, robotic assembly, even ways to use resources found on asteroids or the moon. It's incredible.
So what does that mean in practical terms? What are some real-world applications of this tech?
Think about satellite repair. Instead of bringing a broken satellite back down to Earth, you could send up a robot crew with parts made in space. That would be a game changer.
It's like having a space mechanic on call. Amazing. And what about scientific research?
Huge potential there, too. Imagine building telescopes or other instruments right in space. No limitations of launching from Earth. The possibilities are mind-boggling.
So this isn't just about investing in a company. It's about investing in a whole new way of doing things in space.
Exactly. And Redwire is one of the few companies that's really positioned to make this happen. They've got the vision, the tech, and the drive.
It's inspiring, but also a bit daunting. I mean, there must be a lot of challenges with this kind of groundbreaking technology.
Oh, absolutely. In-space manufacturing is still in its early stages. There are technological hurdles, safety concerns, legal and regulatory issues to figure out. It's not going to be easy.
So investors need to be patient. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term play.
Right. There will be bumps in the road, but the potential payoff could be huge. It's like investing in the early days of the internet or personal computers, a bet on a technology that could change the world.
So what should investors be watching for in the coming months and years? What are the signs that Redwire is on the right track?
Keep an eye on their contract wins, both from government agencies and commercial space companies. That's a clear sign of progress.
So new deals and partnerships. Got it. What else?
Look for updates on their in-space manufacturing tech. Successful tests, partnerships with other companies in this space, eventually the deployment of actual in-space manufacturing facilities. That's the real proof of concept.
Moving from theory to practice.
Oh.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else?
The overall growth of the commercial space sector is a key indicator. The more that sector takes off, the more opportunities there will be for companies like Redwire.
So Redwire's success is tied to the overall success of the space industry. It's all connected.
Exactly. Watch for trends in space, tourism, satellite launches, all of that. If the commercial space sector booms, Redwire will be right there riding the wave.
It's an exciting time to be watching this space, no
Yep.
pun intended. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
It does. And companies like Redwire are leading the way.
All right, so as we wrap up our look at Redwire, I want to give you, our expert, a chance to share any final thoughts for our listeners who might be thinking about adding Redwire to their portfolios.
You know, Redwire is one of those companies that really captures the imagination. They're working on things that could completely change how we live and work, and they have the potential to make a lot of money for their shareholders. But we got to be real here. Investing in a company like Redwire is not for the risk-averse.
So don't just jump in because of the hype. Do your homework first.
Exactly. Investors need to really dig in, understand their business model, look at the risks, the opportunities, make sure Redwire fits their own goals and risk tolerance. If they do all that and they still believe in the company, then yeah, Redwire could be a really great addition to their portfolio.
Great advice. Investing is a personal journey. What works for one person might not work for another. So research, understand the risks, and make informed decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, folks, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Find companies you believe in for the long haul and be patient. There will be ups and downs along the way.
All right, so that's our take on Redwire. Now we want to hear from you, our listeners. What are your thoughts? Are you bullish on Redwire? Any questions or concerns? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and share this episode with anyone who might be interested in Redwire's story. Until next time, happy investing.